Greetings, people of the internet. This is Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. It's Friday. You know what that means. It's time for another Fan Art Friday sketch. Still doing our series of Stranger Things fan arts. We're doing the kids from Stranger Things. So far, we've done Mike, we've done Dustin. So who's next? We've got Lucas. All right. This is the guy you're like, come on, Lucas, man, get with the program. Does he get with the program? We'll see. But great character. I love kind of his story arc and everything. But we'll talk about him, and we'll also do this. I'll show you how this sketch came to be, so let's get to it. Okay, so let's get started on Lucas here. He's the third in my series of Stranger Things portraits, caricatures, whatever you want to call them, of the kids from the series. And what I usually do when I'm doing drawing a face, I usually do sort of like an oval shape. Well, depending on the shape of the face. This one's kind of oval shaped. But then what I'll do is I'll kind of draw like an X over it and kind of follow that contour of the shape so it's got sort of a three-dimensional look, so it's not flat. And that way it'll kind of give me an idea where to like position the eyes and the nose and the ears and everything, because all that stuff lines up. Like if you follow the eyes down, they usually, you know, they come across their level with the ears, and there's usually like an eye space in between each eye, and then the nose falls right beneath that, and then the face. And sometimes you'll get off if you don't kind of just draw that little line through. So that's something I always do. It seems to work for me. But anyway, so I'm using my Prismacolor Colorase cadmium red to do these, and then I'm going to go ahead and ink it, and then I'll use Copic markers to color it in and everything. So anyway, what can we say about Lucas? So Lucas, this group of what was four friends, but one of them kind of goes missing. Will Byers goes missing, and the rest of the three friends kind of go trying to find him, and then they run into another, so that it kind of then it's four again, and then tell, hopefully, and no spoilers or anything, hopefully if they do find Will. So and if that happens, then, you know, who knows, like next season, are they going to have 5 kids together? Sort of kind of giving it away, sort of not, but anyway, but it's very kind of up in the air when we end this show, so we don't really know what's going to happen, because there's people that kind of are missing again, and so, you know, who knows, but they just did announce the next series, and they released all the sequel, I guess they're saying, they're calling it a sequel, but season 2, whatever you want to call it, they released all the titles for the episodes. So some interesting stuff. It kind of makes you wonder and kind of want to delve into that and figure what that's all about. But it's going to be so far away, I'm trying not to think too much about it. But anyway, so Lucas, of this group of friends, Lucas is sort of, he's a little more protective of his friends, and a little skeptical about outsiders, and particularly when Eleven comes into the picture, because obviously there's something weird going about her, and he obviously picks up on that, and not too crazy about it. So, and of course I think from the beginning we kind of know before the kids do what's going on with Eleven. So obviously we want to sympathize with Eleven, but again, he's kind of skeptical about the whole thing. So, you know, and he's, you know, really when you think about it, he's just trying to protect his own friends. But through the show, in the beginning, you're like, oh, come on, man. And then eventually, you know, it gets to a point where, you know, there's a situation where they're trying to accomplish a certain goal, and it looks like Eleven is kind of like hiding something, and he again picks up on that, and then it ends kind of in sort of a, you know, kind of a standoff between him and his friends and stuff like that. And it just reminds me of when I was a kid, and, you know, you would get in an argument with a friend, and then, you know, that kind of sucks. But then hopefully you kind of let bygones be bygones and get back together again, and, you know, and eventually, you know, kind of when you're all the while you're watching, it's kind of like, come on, Lucas, come on, don't you see what's going on? Kind of, you know. But eventually, like he pulls through and everything. So it's kind of cool that I like that idea of just, you know, not everyone's kind of on that same, you know, they all have different feelings about 11, and some of them are kind of like Dustin's kind of sort of in the middle. Lucas is definitely skeptical. Mike's just probably even a little blind not to see that there's some danger involved in her and everything. But anyway, so I do like all the kid characters, and it'll be interesting to see, because when you have those dynamics, especially even with Joyce, who plays Will's mom, the kid who goes missing. A lot of her performance is centered around this, just having lost her son and everything, and just because of the things that transpire, without giving too much away. The next season, who knows what's going to happen? But the next season, that it's going to be a different dynamic for her. So you wonder kind of what her character is going to be like, because that was a major part of her character. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see how the kids get along next, and in the next season and everything. But I am really looking forward to it. So, but I'm in the middle of kind of rewatching it. I was watching, I watched the whole thing, and then I was starting to do a rewatch because I was trying to get my girlfriend to watch it. And then, so we watched a couple episodes together, and I told her, let me know if you want to skip ahead, just so I can keep up, on my own, and I can watch them. And next thing I know, she's watched the whole thing, so I got to catch up. But in the meantime, Netflix is just doing some amazing stuff. I've been watching another show that kind of takes place in a similar time period, called The Get Down. And if you aren't interested in like hip hop, like the beginning, and I was very much into hip hop when it was first kind of taking form and everything, and it's very cool, and it is. I mean, it's late 70s is when this takes place, and then of course Stranger Things is in early 80s, so about 5-year span. But did it, and similarly like to Stranger Things, really captured that time period, and it's the way it's shot, and some of the characters in the beginning, it's almost a little like over the top. It's almost like there's this one character called Shaolin Fantastic, and he's sort of this legend, and you don't even see his face in the beginning. But then, and it's almost like parkour, where he's just jumping around and doing. He starts off as sort of this graffiti artist / hustler, and then kind of changes and finds other interests and things like that. And I've got 2 more episodes to go with that. But for somebody who loves like old school hip hop, I mean, a lot of the characters are like, are fictional, but then there's a lot of like real characters like Grandmaster Flash and Cool Herc, and some of the characters I don't know if they're real or not. There's some politicians and things like that, but it really is an excellent show, and it's produced by Baz Luhrmann and a bunch of different. I mean, you look at the amount of different people that produce the show, and there's tons of them. But have you ever seen I don't know if you guys have seen the what's the name of it? The Great Gatsby? If you've seen that, then you kind of know how he shoots stuff, and some of it looks like it's taken from old footage of New York, and some of it, obviously, most of it is reshot. So I don't know how much is, but it's really, really good. And the characters, man, all the characters are really good. So it's right up there for me. I mean, Stranger Things is just this special kind of thing for me. Just hits so many different notes. But this one's up there too for me personally, just because being such a big fan of hip hop, and I don't talk about that much, because the hip hop of today I'm not as into. It's not my thing anymore. But definitely in that time period, that was my thing. So. And there's just so many things. Like there's this part where Grandmaster Flash gives these kids, they're sort of want to be his proteges. It gives them this purple crayon, and they've got to figure out the mystery of the purple crayon. And I don't know if it's just because I know hip hop, but I'm like right away I know what that purple crayon is for. But it takes them forever to figure it out. But anyway, if you think that might be something you're interested in, definitely check it out, because it is really a good show. And I haven't watched the whole thing through, but so far it's really good. So I don't know if I do any fan art. It's weird, like different things people gravitate to as far as fan art. I mean, I love the characters, I do them, but I don't think anyone would be that interested in watching. But anyway, that was Lucas. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following. I'll see you guys next week with another Fan Art Friday sketch, and that is all.